We've already got questions coming. How fun is that?
Good morning, everybody. I think it's Happy Cinco de Mayo Day.
Yes, because yesterday was Star Wars May the 4th be with you. Now it's Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. So go out and have a taco today, right?
Taco something, right? Yeah.
Right.
All right. Yay. You get to join us, Vangela. Hello. Bobby's asking, where's coffee? I've got my coffee. Mary, you have your coffee or tea?
Water. Water. Yeah.
Don't act like you're
dull. No, I'm dull. I'm just a dull person. So
I probably should start water after this. This is like my second or third cup already today, but I've been up since like 5. So ignore the black circles. Let's see. Michelle says, I'm new to all of this, but my question is, can I contact a past loved one? My mom passed December 22nd unexpectedly. Sorry to hear that. I've been handling all of her affairs since August when she suddenly became ill.
Well, it's a little hard, Michelle. She hasn't been dead that long. You will be able to contact. The only way I know that that's going to happen is when she comes in a dream, and you can talk to her in a dream. But normally you don't get a dream for at least 6 months, and sometimes it can take up to 2 years. It sounds like she didn't die under bad circumstances, so she's probably going to be one of these people that comes in a dream pretty quick. You can go to a psychic medium that has that ability to talk to people that crossed over. But now, if your mother didn't cross over, I could speak to her, but I would have to have a phone call from either your house, probably your house. If you're taking care of all of her affairs, that means she's probably with you. So, but that would be the only way that I would know how to, get hold of her.
Let's see. Well, this is fun. Brooke says, hello, this is my first time here. She just finished As Alive So Dead this morning, and she felt compelled to look up your information, and here we are. Talk about.
And there's no such thing as coincidence.
Right.
You're just supposed to be here.
Hello, Loretta, joining us, and Mike. Oh, let's see. I just saw a question about house hunting, and that's a tough market right now. They are flying. Heather says, I'm looking for my first house right now. Super exciting. But how can I tell if the houses I'm viewing are haunted?
Couple of ways. Okay. If you're buying in Ohio, if you run your hand over the top of the door jamb by any of the doors and you feel a little Quinn seat up there, it's a good house, because I do a lot of work for a lot of people and a lot of real estate people. Other than that, I would say be careful about buying a flip house, because you might be buying a portal with that. But keep this in mind, whatever you like, buy. It can be fixed if you're in this area. I'm not coming to California. So, but if you're in this area and you want, when you didn't have to put a bid on a house the same day it shows up, there was more time, and a lot of people would go to open houses or go to a piece of property where they wanted to build and call me from there and see if it was okay. But that's an unnecessary step, because whatever you buy can be fixed.
We have a few more joining us. Maureen, Natalie, and there was even a happy early Mother's Day. So that is coming up, believe it or not.
It is.
Where is this year going to already? And then there's a very good question out there. I have not an answer yet. Where is Lewis? Where is our buddy Lewis? He has not shown up yet.
You never know with him. You just never know.
Hey, Rebecca and Adam. How many hours did he say he was ahead? Maybe he's something to do with school. I know before he's mentioned where he's doing school sometime.
Okay, he said it's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, our time. It's 2:30 in the morning there. So you can figure that out.
I need more coffee.
Yeah,
While I
I'm beyond that.
over
Right.
here.
Never any good math.
Michelle says, I do not dream, but if she does, she's not remembering them. That's where like maybe one of your dream bags would come in handy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of reasons why people don't remember. Everybody dreams, but there's a lot of reasons why people don't remember their dreams. There's some prescriptions that retard dreams where you can't remember them. If you work really like swing shifts, your body doesn't get in the right rhythm to remember your dreams. But if you want to remember your dreams, get an herb called mugwort, Mugwort, and put it in a little bag like this. I sell them, but you can find mugwort anywhere. Put it in a hanky, pull up the four corners, put it between your pillowcase and your pillow. And in about 3 weeks, you'll start remembering your dreams. If you have siblings or other close relatives or other relatives that she was close to, keep asking them if they've had a dream of her yet. As long as somebody has had a dream of her, then she is where she's supposed to be.
Let's see. We have a question from Amherst, kind of local to me. It says, good morning from Amherst. I feel a presence here, but I know it is family and I can find comfort in it. Does that mean they haven't found peace and haven't crossed over?
No, Sandy, that just might mean that you are aware and can sense spirits that have crossed over. Just because I can't see them doesn't mean other people can't. John Edwards, James Van Prague, they see ones that have crossed over. I do not, but they don't see what I see.
Let's see. More more people doing the math about what time it is for Lewis, so it's kind of funny. We're gonna have to wrangle that boy. So a question from Julie. It says, I've had a cardinal outside the past few days. Could this be my mom?
A lot of people get a hit, or all of a sudden, if they see a cardinal or a certain butterfly, or they automatically, like you see the cardinal and you think of your mom. Absolutely. There are signs that they show up. And this week would be a really good week with Mother's Day on Sunday, plus the fact that we just had that pink moon, full moon we just had was a super moon. The one on the 26th of May is another super moon. It's called the flower moon, and it's a lunar eclipse. So from the 26th of April to the 26th of May, it's ghost on steroids. If you've got them in your house, you are going to know about it because they've got so much energy right now.
Yeah, see, Westies is doing some of the math, so he's 9 hours ahead.
Oh, well, Westies are really smart, so I'm thinking I'll take that as for sure.
Let's see. Nadia says, my friend is having a guitar and toys playing alone. What can her friend do?
My friend is having a guitar, probably has a guitar. Okay. Was it a used guitar? Did you get it from a friend? Was it a gift, and where did they get it from? Did you get it was it bought at an actual music store that some ghost was attached to it and now you've got it? Without a phone call, I really do not know what it could be.
That could be a good reason for Zoom.
Oh, yeah, that would be a really good. Have the computer or guitar with you when you're on Zoom, and we'll see if something's attached to it or not.
Let's see. Deborah says, Marianne, you cleared my house in 1994 and put up seeds above the doors. Since then, the seeds have been lost. She recently purchased seed charms from you and is registered for the 517 Zoom. If there are earthbound spirits, can I place the charms above the doors?
We can talk on Zoom, Deborah, and if there is something there, I'll tell you what to do while we're on, and just make sure that you've got enough for any door that goes directly to the outside. That also means not the door that goes from the house to the attached garage, but the garage doors are a service door, any fireplaces. And if you have well water, where you have water pumped into the house, if you are not on city water, those are all places that the seeds have to go. I like them on attics areas too, but you don't have to push it if you don't want to. But yeah, I'll be able to tell you on Zoom, and we can figure it out.
Let's see. A question about the dream bags. How long do they last?
Well, I'll tell you. First of all, there's a Quinn seed inside all of these too, for two reasons. If you have an earthbound spirit in your house and they're in the bedroom with you while you're sleeping, they can pull off your covers, they can pat you, they can pull your hair, they can lay down next to you. I know, not a good thought. But if you've got the dream bag under your pillow, then they have to stay 3.5, 4 feet away from you. Plus, if you've got earthbound spirits in your bedroom while you're sleeping, you're going to have really bizarre dreams, like technicolor, loud, banging, that type of a dream. The other thing is when this goes between your pillowcase and your pillow, a lot of times people don't like the odor of the things that are in here. And because beside mugwort, I also have other stuff in here for people with insomnia or people that have a hard time sleeping. This works for them too. So, but yes, if this smell bothers you, you can put it in a Ziploc bag. It still works. They have been thrown in washers and dryers, and they still work. So unless the whole thing totally falls apart somehow, I think you're good.
Let's see. So Maureen was on the Zoom a couple months ago, and you saw 4 ghosts. I'm pretty sure that they were nuns because she's living in a convent. So then her question is, could the earthbound nuns rearrange the glasses in the dining room closet?
Oh, of course. They could rearrange that. They could move dishes from one side to another. And don't ask me how, because I don't know. This would be the month for it, though, because they definitely have more energy this month. It's like when they make noises in the closet, or the door opens and closes, or the hangers bang together. Yes, they can make all kinds of noises in a house. And I remember that Zoom call, and I think you are 100% correct. I think at least 3 of them were nuns. I'm not sure on the 4th one, but I remember 3 for sure.
Oh, right. And then Melanie asks, can earthbound spirits cause problems with cars?
Oh, yes, they can. If they ride with you, especially if you have a newer car with all the electronics, they can mess that up pretty bad, where your thing is going off where it says service, 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 and you don't need it, or the windshield wipers stop working, or the dinger won't work on your seatbelts. Anything electronic, starters, door locks popping up and down, or the electric windows not going up and down. Yes, they could absolutely ride with you and cause problems with your car.
Let's see. We actually have a question from Australia. I'm trying to find the first part of it. Sherry, here she goes. She's from Perth, Western Australia. And says, I moved and lost the seeds my sister Michelle brought to Australia when she came home from Ohio, and she got those from you. Is there any way to buy and mail some more that a spirit is following her daughter?
We do not ship out of state or out of the United States. It gets lost. They get open. See when Michelle, and I know exactly who you're talking about. I know, see when Michelle or somebody else in the States is sending you guys a package of some kind, and have them get in touch with me, say what, get what you want. I'll give it to them and they can ship it to you that way. You have a better chance of getting it that way than for us sending it direct. And tell Michelle to come back and visit. Australia's not that far.
Face says otherwise. Adam, whoops, it jumped on me. How long will this full moon's influence last?
It started about the 24th of April, and it will probably go to about the 28th of May. Because it doesn't just stop dead on the day that it's a full moon or start. So, but it should be totally over by the 28th of May. So just see, people that do the law of abundance this month, It should be a pretty good one if you can remember to do it. And we'll send the notices out when it's time.
Let's see. Felicia asks, can spirits touch you? The other night, I wasn't sure if I was awake or asleep and felt a hand touch me on my side and got goosebumps on my whole body. For some reason, I thought it was a teenage girl. I do suffer from sleep paralysis, though, so not quite sure.
Yes, absolutely. Spirits can touch you. Like I said, they can pull hair, they can kiss you, they can pat your cheek, they can pull the covers up around you if they think you need more covers on you, or take them off, pull them off of you. So yes, absolutely, they can touch you. And it's just not ones that are earthbound. Your grandma that died, 25 years ago could be coming around just give you a kiss on the cheek. So yeah, absolutely. And I think as far as the sleep paralysis goes, I did a YouTube on that. There's, I think, 200, if not more, YouTubes. And there's some good information on there about the sleep paralysis. I know it was directed more toward children because it seems to affect them a lot. But yeah, there's definitely more information because every Wednesday at 5:30, a new YouTube comes out.
So plenty of afternoon entertainment to go back and watch if somebody is sitting home bored.
Yeah.
Go catch up on all the things, especially, what was it, that first Wednesday in February, we did the whole fairy thing. So many people are going to be working out in their yard when it's not raining like it is right now. And if you're tempted to do some fairy stuff, some precautions are listed in that one. So the follow-up question about the car was, can you smudge a car?
Oh, absolutely. And seriously, you should, especially if you're having any trouble. And because it's out in the air and windows are down, I would probably smudge a car at least once a week. And this is true too. If you're wearing a Quinn charm, the ghost is not going to be in the front seat of the car with you. You got an SUV or a full-size van that's over 3.5, 4 feet long. It could be riding with you, but at least it won't be sitting next to you.
In the trunk of the car.
Exactly.
Can a spirit become attached to you?
Yes. And one of the biggest ways that I have seen spirits attached to people for years and years and years is that when they were teens, they messed with the Ouija board. And that ghost that showed up on the Ouija board has been with them for a long, long time. They can follow you from house to house. And if they're earthbound, you probably have had a lot of problems in the house or with you personally, with relationships or health. But absolutely, they could become attached to you.
Let's see. Jada, asks, do spirits get mad when you leave for a long period of time? Something got thrown at me last week when I came home from my vacation.
Well, they have the option of going with you if they want to. But some of them are homebodies. And so what they will do if you're gone for a long period of time, they'll go stay with your neighbor or go to the closest mall to get energy. And yeah, they could just be a little angry when you finally show up and flip something off at you. And again, especially if it's happened since April 26th, it would not surprise me one little bit.
Let's see. Oh, hello, Sandy. Latecomer coming in. I only know you well enough, so I'll just joke and call you the slacker. So the question is if they can get your email. Melissa has a bit of activity in her house, which all of your contact info can be found on your website.
But let me say this right now, especially after that TV thing on this past Monday. I do not answer emails. I don't look at emails. I don't touch a computer. I have a cell phone. If you need to get in touch with me, you have got to call and leave a message or write a letter, put it in the mail and mail it to me. That is the only way. And all these people from Monday that have left messages. My webmaster's nuts. You got to call me. You got to call. No, I'm not. And you've got to call me or send me a letter.
No texting, no twittering.
No, that's right. See, I didn't want to say the other one because I know it's what I say is wrong. What did I say? I still think it should be called twits.
Yeah, twits.
Twits.
Let's see. Hello, Cheryl. John. Let's see who else. Feel free to ask questions, guys. How would you remove that attached spirit?
It can be removed. You would have to, find somebody that can see him and talk to him and create the white light and let them go. You could wear a Quinn seed charm so they can't get close to you. And they will get disgusted if they can't get close to you for a period of time. You can smudge, but if it's attached to you, you really have to smudge yourself at least every other day. And if you think cigarettes leave a smell on you, smudging yourself is even worse. So I would suggest more the charm or smudge the house and at least make your attachment lethargic and laid back so they're not around you all the time. You've got options. Come on Zoom and let me tell you if it's a man or a woman and where they are and, go from there. Are you sure it's not somebody you know? And they don't want to leave. So that's that could be an issue too.
Well, Brooke says there are plenty of twits on Twitter.
Oh, I really like you, Brooke. Thank you. It's like when people started with the cell phones and all the texting. I could remember that. I called it thumbing, but everybody uses their thumbs.
That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
No, you should call it thumbing. And when I said that, everybody knew what I meant. So.
Well, Westy says, my mom wouldn't allow a Ouija board no matter how much we begged.
You got that right. And that was a smart mom.
Go, moms. Let's see. Christine asks, how do you feel about apps that allow ghosts to speak or automatic writing? I don't know of apps that allow automatic writing on phones or tablets, but I've seen some of the apps for phones.
Because I don't have a cell phone, I have no idea how those work. I put those in the same category, and I'm going to get jumped on, but I put them in the same category as EVPs. You know what? If I don't have to use that stuff, why would I? I can see them, I can look at them, I can talk to them, I can remove them. And I don't know. And I don't know. I know there's some phones that are supposed to buzz if you're in a room when there's a ghost. I don't know how the phone would know that. And if it's really true and it really does that, are they picking up on angels? Are they picking up on spirit guides? Are they picking up on earthbound spirits? Are they picking up on spirits that crossed over? What are they doing? See, I don't know.
I've always kind of took those as just things to generate money. I'm not very confident on apps on phones. So Stacy, good morning from sunny Cleveland.
Oh yeah, in your part of town.
Not here. I have repeated times of waking up yelling, get out, but not remembering a dream. And finally, I had a night where I woke up myself yelling, get out, but remembering a nightmare. A very scary looking, in my opinion, demonic figure was sitting in a pickup truck next to my bed. Is this an actual dream? And could I have been dreaming this all along, but not remembering?
Okay, first of all, earthbound spirits cannot get into dreams. So I am going to, because I know that to be true, I'm going to say you were having a dream of something like that happening because it really was not in your dream. If you've got a lot of energy in your house from an earthbound spirit, or like I said before, if they're around in your bedroom when you're sleeping, you are going to have everything you've just described could possibly happen. I think the bottom line is you've got to check to make sure that your house is clear. Then you can go to the next step. But if your house has got something in it, there's nothing. I mean, the mugwort bag will help and the charm will help, but it's still going to be living in your house with you. And if it's not bothering you, who else is it bothering in the house?
Let's see. Rhonda asks, how do ghosts interact with our etheric body and aura? Are these bodies damaged by them? And what can we do in addition to charms to repair any damage?
I know that if an earthbound spirit is in your space, it can influence you a lot. Some people like to call that an attachment. Some people that there was a lady that was a very modern lady. She didn't really like anything antique. And she moved into a house and had an old sideboard in it that was built in the wall. And so she was going to have to leave and stay there for a while. So for some reason, her friend wanted to go to an antique store. So they went to an antique store and she walked over to where there was a lot of silverware. And she started looking at this one pattern. And she was obsessed with this old pattern of silverware. And she couldn't understand. She didn't even like it, but yet she had to have it. Well, as it turned out, down the road, she called me over. And the old lady that lived in that house, that was her silver pattern when she got married. And she wanted this woman to start collecting it so she could see it. And so, again, she influenced her to do it. And an earthbound spirit can absolutely do that. Yes.
Well, guess who's back?
Gosh.
And you've got to sing it. Otherwise it's not appropriate.
That's right.
And Lewis's fan club have noticed that he's here. Yay, Lewis. So a follow-up question for Melissa says she keeps smudging, but it seems like there's a bit of movement. I just recently had a baby and I'll be moving soon. Could vulnerability play a role? And we'll get you the Zoom information because there's actually 2 of them coming up.
First of all, anybody that has children under the age of 3, I would seriously not smudge your house with them in the house, because you have to get every nook, every cranny, every closet, the crawl spaces, the attic, the basement, the attached garage. That is way too much for a little one to be in. And you have to do it at least every 12 to 14 days for it to keep on working. And if you've got kids that are older, but if they've got asthma or bad allergies, again, you don't want to do that with them in the house. So, but that, come on Zoom and let's see who you've got or what's there. And, we can figure out something to do then. It doesn't hurt to call an ordained priest or minister and have the house blessed. That's always an option too.
Let's see. Samora asked, do Quinn seeds work for pets? I have a kitty that has been chatty lately. He sits on post of my bed looking up and just meows as if he's talking to someone or something. Would a seed work to calm him down?
First of all, if your kitty or any other animals or pets look at the ceiling, they are usually seeing spirits that crossed over. And the seed wouldn't do anything for people to cross over because they're good. They don't cause any problems. If your animals are looking eye level, that's a different story. That definitely could be earthbound spirits. I would not suggest you getting a charm for your kitty unless it's a dog or a cat that goes outside and somebody out there a ghost is being mean to them, then they should have one. Or if you've got a ghost in your house and the ghost is being mean to your animals in the house, then yes, you could put one on. I've had people, earthbound spirits, open up front doors and let the dog out where it got hit by a car. So ghosts could be very, very, very mean to animals. And it just makes me crazy when that happens. So there's a lot of people I know that do get one of the charms to put on their dog's or cat's collar, but I don't think you need it. I think because she's looking at the ceiling, I think that's somebody good. And again, it's Mother's Day this weekend. So that could be a reason why a lot of people are getting more visits now because of that.
True. Let's see. Heidi says, I lost my mom, dad, and brother all within 3 years. They were 63, 71, and 41. I'm Catholic and looking for signs, but I haven't had any. Could I be deep in grief and not being able to notice them?
Yes, you could. And after 3 years, if they've crossed over, I would think that you would at least start having dreams. Now, keep this in mind. Sometimes a spirit that has crossed over does not come in a dream because they're afraid it's going to upset you. And that's a possibility too. I don't know who died first, your mom or your dad, but I would think whoever died first waited for the other one and they went together. The 41-year-old, that could be iffy. Did they have family? Was it a violent death? There could be reasons why the 41-year-old stayed. But if the 41-year-old died from some kind of a sickness, that he had been sick for a while, then he probably crossed over too. Check with your other relatives, siblings, see if anybody has had a dream of them. And seriously, I do. You call the Cleveland Catholic Diocese and tell them you have a ghost in your house. They give you my phone number. So I think that, everybody is more informed nowadays, and that's a really good thing. I mean, really.
I mean, how does it feel to be on speed dial for the Catholic Church there? I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's a little bit different. The first time it happened and they left me a message, I thought, oh, they're calling to excommunicate me, because I figured somebody told them what I did and that kid's going to hell, because I'm sure it was in my early 20s when I got that first call from them. And I really thought I was in big trouble.
I think it's kind of hard to get excommunicated. I don't think I've ever been.
I don't know. I don't know if it's as hard as maybe it's harder now, but there's still a priest, a pastor of a local parish that I personally know, that even though the Catholic Church has allowed cremations, because for years and years and years you couldn't be cremated, you had to be buried, unless you lived in Florida where there was a problem burying people, or watery place. Well, the church changed that, of course, and now you can be cremated. But this particular pastor of this church said absolutely not. He would not allow any ashes in for the Mass. And I guess that's the way he wants it. But I have to laugh. I have a very good girlfriend, and her father died, and they belonged to this particular parish, and she had, her mom had him cremated, so she made the arrangements with the priest and said, I want his urn there with the picture of him. And the priest said, no ashes in the church, absolutely not. And so my girlfriend says to me, watch when my mother walks into the Mass on Thursday. I said, okay. So here comes her mother walking down the aisle to sit in her seat, carrying a brown paper bag with a handle with her husband's ashes in it. And she sat it right next to her on the pew. And she even took him up with her when she went to get communion. So, but again, see the way that works, it's allowed, but this particular pastor doesn't think it should be.
Go mom, though. That's hilarious.
Yes, that's a good one.
A good question here. Heather says, my aunt passed away last week. She donated her body to a medical school, and we won't get the cremains back for at least a couple months. We will have to wait to have her funeral. There we go. I speak English. Will these delays prevent her from going into the light?
It will be her choice, Heather. If you did what she wanted to be done and donated her body, then she's probably content and she probably crossed over. That doesn't mean that she won't be there when you have your, her celebration of life or her funeral or whatever you're having. Or she could choose to wait till then. It's up to her. Free will. She could do whatever she wants. And because the final memorial service isn't done, that means she will have her white light for the whole 2 months, even, waiting for her to cross over. It won't disappear.
Let's see. Fun name, Poodle Pants. I haven't had a dream of my past dog, but I'm confident that he crossed. Any idea when I may have a dream?
Well, Poodle Pants, if it hasn't been at least 6 months, but don't be surprised if I'm sure you've got a lot of friends and relatives that if somebody doesn't have had a dream of him, and again, it could work out that he would be afraid that it would upset you. But I believe you will. If and when you ever get another puppy, I bet you have all kinds of dreams of your dog then, because sometimes they can get a little jealous about having a new one in the house.
All right. First question from Lewis.
He had to work on this one, didn't he?
Bringing it back to the clothes and our fashion show we're all going to have. If you want to wear something that is a size 7, can you change your weight and size to fit the clothing?
Sorry, Lewis. No. When you die, you are the same size as the day you died. So nope. Sorry.
I don't
wear
want to have
black.
More 5Ks.
Right, just wear black. You'll look slimmer in black.
Let's see. Susan, good try, Lewis. I was on your side for that one, though, buddy. Susan says, I've had 2 current readings and both have told me my husband will be passing away this month. What are the signs he's in perfect health? I'll let you go first.
Good. I'm glad you can put the icing on the cake when I'm done with the cake. I would never, ever, ever go back to any kind of a psychic that has told you when somebody is going to die. They have no idea, ever. They can predict a car accident. They can predict, a lot of things, but not that. And nobody is ever going to convince me of that, ever. And take it away, Melissa.
This could turn into the rant that will take up the rest of our time. One of my rules in my storage, we do not give that type of information. Nothing is ever set in stone. Our reader is giving you information as it stands right now. Your husband can change anything in his life to have a different course of direction. That reader should have said something along the lines of, if there were health issues they were picking up on, instead of going, you're going to die, should have said, are you up to date with your doctor? Are you keeping up with things? Give good reasons around and how to overcome something. You don't scare the shit out of your client and send them out in a worse state than when they came in for. As you can see, I'm getting pissed about it because that's just wrong. And the fact that
right, and good readers can't even, I don't care how good they are, they can't even pin down a specific month. They might have to go with seasons. Well, in December or in the winter time or in the spring, they're not going to say April or May because they don't know that. I don't know anybody that is that accurate and could pin it down like that. And like you said, Melissa, the readers that you have at the Goddess Elite, they don't do stuff like that.
No. And the whole point is to put your client in a better position than when they came in. You want to give them the knowledge, the healing if they need it, but ways around. So, a default that I always give as an example, if you think that there might be something to do with a car accident, you don't say, you're going to have a car wreck next week. You say, are you up? How's your car? How's your maintenance? Is it newer? Is it older? Just be vigilant in your upkeep, your tire pressure. Just make sure you have everything up to date. And you know what happens when you do that? You don't have the car wreck. So, that those are things that you can control. There are other people in the world that you can't always, but you know what? If your car is in good working order, you have a better chance of not having it if it's something that you are doing, if you're the negligent one texting and driving, if you're not keeping up with the keep of your car. There's ways around that. I don't tolerate readers giving harmful, because it is harmful. Now you're worried. Now you're stressed. If you've told this to your husband, he's worried, he's stressed. That could cause health issues for him by putting that stress onto him. That's not tolerated in my store. And rant.
That's just so wrong.
Let's see. Jennifer says, "Good morning, Marianne. You came into my house and got rid of snowplow guy." I don't know if you remember that house, but Marianne can't see anything around you right now because she can't see you.
Right. All I could do is see what you've written or typed in. So, but if your seeds are where they're supposed to be, then the house should be clear. And even if the seeds are cracked or popped, that might mean somebody has been trying to get in, but they haven't. You can check that. Or the seed that you're carrying, if it's been cracked or popped, then you know somebody's been trying to get close to you, even though it still works 100%. So I would have no way of knowing without you coming on Zoom or calling.
So Brooke says, "I bet after we cross over, we can be any size we want, including you, Lewis."
Absolutely. Go for it.
Well, in one of your stories that you give in the paid lectures about, how we go into the light and we become hot too. So best diet ever, the light.
Good reason to go.
Let's see. So Gary says, "Smudging the house with what?" And that would be the smudge.
I like sage or sweetgrass. This is a smudge stick. They come in all different sizes, all different ways, but smudging absolutely works. I have them. Melissa has them. Walmart has them. I mean, you can find smudge sticks anywhere nowadays. And yes, a smudge stick is definitely a Native American, and they use it for more than just earthbound spirits. They use smudge sticks a lot in religious ceremonies and that kind of thing. But for us, it works for negative energy and getting rid of earthbound spirits.
So there's been a couple people that have asked now, how do they find the Channel 3 interview?
It's on. Is the interview on the website? The interview, it is on the website. I think Ted put it on this morning.
I think my square just went black, right? Because I switched my browser. I'm seeing if I can find it in the meantime. Let's see. Oh, it says, "It's how I got passionate about how others are treated." I don't tolerate that. Let's see. Barb says, "When I was in bed for the evening, I saw a depression next to me on the bedspread. I closed my eyes and saw static like TVs had in the days on antennas when the stations wouldn't come in." Could that be a ghost?
Yes, I bet you it was exactly. I tell people that when you go to a funeral, and you're starting to go to them again, but the earthbound spirit is usually standing on the end of, or the foot of the casket. And women are better at this than men. But if you can put your eyes out of focus, you can usually see the energy of that spirit standing at the foot of the casket. It sort of looks like when you're driving on Blacktop Road on a 90-degree day and you can see like the heat waves come off the blacktop. That's what it would look like. And that's exactly what you saw sitting on the side of or on your bed. So, and I would have to say without a doubt that that is an earthbound spirit. And I would seriously get some mugwort, or not even, well, the mugwort bag, because it at least has a seed in it. But I would definitely get a seed on you. You don't really want somebody sitting on the edge of your bed that you didn't invite there.
Oh, and somebody who has watched the interview, and I'm going to post it in the links because that's what that slight noise was. It's me loading it up. But Rhonda says, Marianne, I think you made a believer now out of Jay Crawford at WKYC.
I was there for Halloween a couple Halloweens ago because he is, or then was on the noon news. And so he had a program before the noon news. And so they had me there because it's October and because it's Halloween and because this must be the only time that this stuff happens. Wrong. But anyway, and there was a ghost that was around him that just babbled about his grandfather and where he lived and what he did. And I thought that Ben was going to fall off his chair. I really did. And as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think they got in trouble because when the show ends, you have to stop. It's some kind of a rule with the networks. And he kept going. And so I think he even got in trouble. But I thought that what was really funny is that Matt Wentz was the weatherman that day. And when I knew about him, he worked at night. So the other time that I had been in the studio, there was a ghost there that was talking about this weatherman and all angry about them moving to Cleveland. And so I remember the producer said, what's his name? And I told her what his name was, Matt. And she says, we do have a weather person like that at night. And make a long story short, it was his grandfather also. So, but Matt didn't say anything on Monday. I was surprised. Jay did. And I don't think Betsy's a real believer. But then she never called to see if there was anything in her house.
I was thinking she was a little skeptical watching her facial expressions for
it. Right. And especially when she said the cameraman was going, woo, woo. So it was like, give me a break.
Okay. So hey Goth, I don't see the first part of your question, so we'll go into it. I just don't see it. So if you could copy and paste it back in for me, we'll put it up. I don't see it. But Hildegard says she's watching from Belgium. Thank you all for the information. That's fun. So we have Lewis in England. We have we had Australia earlier. We have Belgium.
I know California was on here too. So, but I don't
put a map behind me and start putting pins
up where everybody that we've had. Right. We've had Germany, Canada's pretty. Mexico, they're on a lot, but yeah, it's good.
Let's see. But while we wait for that first part, and let's see. Now they're jumping as I'm trying to reading. So I think last minute questions before we're at the end of our hour. Let's see. So good morning, ladies. My name is Malcolm, and I'd like to ask if using mugwort under the pillow is a seed needed if they already have a seed above the door.
No, the main thing for using the dream bag is to remember your dreams. It's just a side note that there's a seed in there. But no, if you've got the seeds over your doors and they're my seeds, then you don't have a problem. If you just bought a quince and put seeds up, not working. So, but if you got my seeds up, then you're fine. Not a problem.
Oh, well, Brooke says she's in Florida, and that's almost like another planet.
Sometimes I have to agree with you. Yes, indeed.
All right. So Goth says that you mentioned heat waves maybe was it during the talking about the static? All
I said is that sometimes that when people see an earthbound spirit, it looks like heat waves that come off of blacktop in the summer, that when you're driving, you can see the heat coming off. Sometimes that is how people can see earthbound spirits. I have to admit, though, like I said before, women are a little bit better at it. And it really works well if you know how to make your eyes go out of focus. And again, women seem to be able to do that a lot easier than men, and I don't know why.
It's how we learn to tune out the kids and just go, uh-huh.
Maybe it's our planet we're from. Who knows? I don't know.
Melanie says, I have had dreams about murders. Some of them were on the news and reported. It's never the same person. Could they be trying to give me information?
Again, if somebody is murdered, 9 times out of 10, unless the crime was solved, they are not going to cross over until it is taken care of. So again, I would doubt if that person would be in your dream. I think that's just your mind having a dream about something that you saw on the news, which, that happens frequently, where you can intertwine something that happened on the news or a call you got during the day into a dream. And I'm thinking that's what that is.
Let's see. And there was a question. I can't seem to find it because there's a bunch coming in regards to like movie sets and adult movie sets, things flying overheads being thrown during production and filming. Is that something that you've seen or heard about? Maybe not seen, but heard about while you were in California doing work out there for Ghost Whisperer?
Yes, actually, there were a lot of ghosts on the sets. And as far as the adult production goes, that wasn't in California. That was in Cleveland. And yeah, go figure. And
go Cleveland.
Right. And yeah, and it was, how to say, the filming was being done in a house that had been owned by an older couple, because it had a lot of bedrooms, and they had it was easier to film a lot of different stuff. Okay. And the old couple, the woman had waited for her husband before she went to the light. And here her husband had sold the house. He ended up in a nursing home, and she saw what they were doing in her house. So she was angry. So when he crossed over, they both went back to the house to try to stop that, break the cameras. The one actor at a very crucial point ended up getting a really bad nosebleed. I mean, these two were a pip, and I was really half tempted not to let them cross over, because I thought, but then I thought, they'll just get a different house and move. So I went ahead and let them go to the light. But yeah, that, like I said, that was here. That wasn't in California.
Fun.
Not so much.
Willow asks, is it possible for you to talk to the ghost over the internet?
No, I cannot. When I'm on Zoom, I can see them. And if questions are asked by who's ever in the little box on Zoom, I can see them shake their head yes or no, or shrug their shoulders or go, but I cannot talk to them or remove them.
It's like a long game of charades. Sounds like.
Yeah, see, and I've never played charades in my life. Somebody needs to teach me. Or teach me sign language. No, that they would have to sign. Never mind, that was wrong.
Oh, right. I was going to say, then they would have to know it.
Yeah, which is wrong. Right.
So how long after this live is Michelle able to watch it again on YouTube? So here's a fun fact. YouTube, for whatever reason, takes 24 hours for these videos to become available, be it on the Goddess Elite YouTube channel or Marianne's YouTube channel. It's just a YouTube thing. Now, if you go to the Goddess Elite Facebook or Marianne Paranormal Investigator, I need more coffee. I can't talk today. The video becomes available usually within an hour. I don't know why Facebook processes the video quicker than YouTube, because I'm using the same platform to stream to all those places. It's just a YouTube versus Facebook. So if you want to watch it quicker than tomorrow, hit one of the Facebook pages. Otherwise, it's available on either one of our YouTube to watch. YouTube, I don't understand why. Oh, thanks. It's just random coffee mug. I think my favorite one my friend Nikki made for me, it was just a white one, and all it says is well shit, because that's what I mutter a lot throughout my day. She's like, you need that on a mug. And I'm like, nobody's made one. And she goes, I'll be right back. And like by the end of the day, she had it.
Got it.
Willow says, by the way, love your book. And she and her husband reference it all the time.
That was the whole purpose of writing that book. That's not what I thought, but what I met with all the editors and they said that we want a book that has a lot of different information about a lot of different things. And it's a book they'll keep and put on a shelf. And when they have a certain question, they can just look at that book. And it's almost like a reference book sometimes, I think. And, you can buy When Ghosts Speak and pick it up and start any chapter. You don't even have to read it from the front to the end. So, yes, thank you. I think it helps a lot of people.
I don't think we've had this question before. What about babies who die stillborn? Can you talk with them? Can you see them?
No, because they're not earthbound. A guardian angel, a grandma, a grandpa, somebody comes and gets those babies when something happens to them. They are never at the funeral. They are already in heaven or whatever you perceive that to be. The youngest that I have ever seen of an earthbound child is 3, and maybe 3 or 4 of them in the last 60 some years. But they talked like they were 6 or 7. They were really smart kids. But no, don't worry about babies. They come back. Somebody comes and gets them. They are not stuck, just like people with dementia or Alzheimer's or any kind of mental, physical issues. Somebody comes and gets those people too. They are never stuck.
Good question. Which one of the Ghost Whisperer episodes was closest to being shown as something that could happen in reality?
You know what? I really think that the very first episode, when they didn't get fancy with their thoughts, but when the first episode was probably closest to the real thing. That one, except for her not making the white light, which upset me for the whole 5 years, because I do, and the producer didn't want to do that. Somehow Melissa got the information and they just disappeared. But the longer the show went on, the crazier it got. And like I said, toward the end, if there were 10 sentences each week that were true, the rest was all Hollywoodized. The stories were mine, but they'd say, I want stories about car crashes, or I want stories about explosions. So I'd go back through my files and give them 10, 15, 20 different scenarios of places that I did. And they would take pieces and parts from all of those and make it 52 minutes long, because 8 minutes is commercials. And so they were all jumbled together anyway. But the first one, I think, was probably the one that was closest to it.
There was a question about the type of clairs, and if you dream something and then it comes true, that usually falls under claircognizant, clairvoyant to seeing, clairsentient, smelling, knowing. So claircognizant, because that usually encompasses kind of all. There's been so many last minute questions coming in that I'm like, I can't find it. So I'm just going to throw it out there.
Right.
Marie says, you mentioned flipped houses and portals. What if I flipped the house myself and now I'm living in it? Could I have the portal?
Yes, if you had a lot of trouble flipping it, or if 3 steps forward, 2 back constantly, a lot more money than you thought it was going to spend, everything was going wrong, then you probably have a portal. But if the flip went good and you have no problem, the house feels good to you, then it's probably just fine. But 9 out of 10 flip houses, especially if they were lost to the bank or if there was a lot of damage done to the houses, people angry, punching holes in walls, taking all the plumbing out, taking out the air conditioning. People do strange things sometimes. And I see dead people. But definitely, if your house feels good, then it's probably fine. Come on Zoom. Let's see if it's good.
Where do you know what channel Ghost Whisperer is still being aired? For a little while, it was on Ion.
I believe it's still on Ion. Somebody just said it at the last event we were just at, what channel they watch it on all the time. I know when Ted wants to find a TV show, he'll ask his phone.
Ask Siri or Google.
I don't know how he does it. I don't have one. I don't know. He just asks his phone if there's any episodes of this being aired, and he usually gets an answer that way. Or I'm sure you can probably check on a computer. They know where they're at.
So,
and I think that right. Plus, there are tapes for every year. There's actually a box set with all the tapes, but so I don't know if there's still tapes available. If you could buy a tape.
I said you can buy the whole series on Amazon.
There you go. Thank you so much. I didn't know that. I figured it, but didn't know it.
It's also on, somebody just put up their Pop. They're like shifting. Everybody knows where to find you.
Okay, but that's good to know.
Let's see. So there's been questions about the Zooms. Where is it? If you want to join in on the Zoom, the next one is on the 17th. It's a Monday night, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, $20. We limited it to 30 people. There will be 32 on the Zoom. The 30 paid participants, myself, Mary Ann. I'm not really there interacting. I'm just muting, unmuting, taking names. It's all Mary Ann's show. If it's recorded, it's only for like promotional purposes. You can say, hey, leave me out, and we'll, edit that out, cut it out. It is not recorded to put up on YouTube for everybody else to watch later. Nobody else is going to know that you were on and that you may or may not have a ghost in your house.
Now, the other 29 people are going to hear you. Mm-hmm. It will just be those 30 people and Melissa and myself. Nobody else can go back and look at it.
Correct. And then the next one is June 11th, which is a Friday night.
Friday night.
Same time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Anybody from anywhere can join us. Just please be mindful of the time difference. If you log in 3 hours late and we're wrapping up, we're done. We're not staying up all night. I have to go to work the next morning, and Marianne, I'm sure, has important things to do.
I'm tired. The other thing, real quick, on May 26th, for those of you that are Coast to Coast fans, I will be on with George on May 26th, which is going to be very interesting because it is a full moon and it is also a lunar eclipse. So people that call George's line, some of them are a little different, so we should get some real interesting phone calls that night. That's for sure.
Oh, we've already got people filling in. My phone's lighting up down here. Yay!
Oh, good. Okay.
So yeah, there was like 6 or 8 spaces left for the 17th. Now we've just lost a couple. So you can pick any remaining spot for the 17th, or you can jump on for June 11th. Otherwise, later in June, we have the Haunted Merry-Go-Round Museum. That Marianne, we get to do the main floor and downstairs where they do the repairs, and the haunted carousel horse from what is that called? Cedar Point. Is kept there off season. So
don't they have some old ones from Euclid Beach too?
Oh, I'm sure they have a lot of really creepy looking horses on sticks in that building.
So yeah, that should be interesting. There should be it should be very interesting what's there.
See, invisible dead people don't bother me. The thought of a demon in the house, bring it on. a clown, or apparently a carousel horse, I'm creeped out. I don't like them.
Everybody's got their hang-ups. It doesn't make any difference.
I might be doing a lot of that from like, you guys have fun in there. Let me know when you're done.
You have your seat on you. Just that'll keep any crazy demon horses away from you too.
They're just ugly looking. They all have that like snarled like face. It's just, yeah. The invisible ones I wouldn't care. It's those real
But
ones.
keep this in mind. A carousel horse is not real. It's not like going to the racetrack and actually seeing real ghost horses, which I do see. I'm sure I am not going to see a ghost of a made-up horse.
No.
That is not going to happen.
But they're still creepy looking. I don't like dolls either. So doll clowns and carousel horses.
I don't know who's going to be there, but we'll find out.
Fake things. Fight or flight, I kind of want to fight it. Okay. Don't come dressed as a clown, anybody.
You won't come in. Makes no difference how much you pay to get in. You won't get in if you come as a clown. She watches the door, so she will not let you in.
I'm the gatekeeper into the event. Let's see. Brooke, yes, you don't necessarily have to have a ghost if you want to still come in and join. Yeah, because Marianne can answer questions about portals and negative energy and curses as well. So feel free.
And there are people that come on every week that never ask any question at all. They just say that this, 2.5, 3 hours is better than, TV at night. They just they're entertained by what everybody has to say. So, but there are people on there, like I said, I know 2, 3, 4 people for sure that are almost on every time that ask absolutely no questions at all.
And that being said, new people always go first.
Correct.
So, and if we start getting to the point where we are flooded with so many new people, I'll kind of do the cutoff and I'll be mean and be like, if you're just coming to listen and you've never had a question, then I'm kind of booting you, refunding you, and putting in somebody who actually has a problem or may have a problem, I should say. Not that they have a problem. That sounded mean. But just to keep it fair. So, but again, new people go first. This is not recorded to show everywhere. Like, guess what Sandy has going on in her house? Guess what Michael has going in their house?
It's funny because we were doing 2 Zooms a month, but now that we're able to start doing some events, that's why we're sort of down to 1 a month now, because you can come to the events and again, sometimes your ghosts come with you. If nothing else, I could tell when I meet you that if you have residue around you or not, so I would know if you've got something in your house or not.
Mm-hmm. Where do you sign up for the Zoom? Where'd it go? We just had it up. Let me find where it went. There we go. So that is the link. If you just go to goddesselite.com, on the events page, go under haunted events. You'll find the Zooms. You'll find the merry-go-round museum, and any other ones that we are going to be putting together now that things are kind of easing up and we're allowed to do things in person again. My other part-time, one of my other part-time jobs will be scoping out places for Marianne events to keep
if anybody knows of a haunted place that they would like us to do within, say, 100 miles of downtown Cleveland, definitely call. Melissa's real good at talking to these people and seeing if they want to do an event there and see about their ghosts. So, that's a good thing. And the YouTube tonight at 5:30 is a letter that was written to me by a couple from Iowa that I did in the late 70s. It's pretty interesting because there was also a ghost that was very mean to a little girl. And it's I forgot all about this till I got the letter. And it was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So this one tonight is a little bit different.
There's a question. I'm not familiar with this one. Maybe you are. The Bel Air House. I don't know if that's local to Cleveland.
There's a street Bel Air, but I don't know about the house.
We'll have to take a peek at that. I know there were a couple places out in Erie that I was looking at. There was a place in Toledo. There was a few places, and then COVID hit, and I just kind of put everything on the back burner. The train wreck.
Most bars or restaurants or hotels, antique stores, but places like that, you know, you want to find a place where a little talk can be done first, where people can sit and then go on the walk if that's what they choose to do. So, but seriously, it seems like everybody knows some place where it's haunted, and a lot of them aren't really publicized. Wineries are full, and we do, you know, an event at one of the wineries, but and we're looking at another winery in Erie.
Erie was Brew Erie and down underneath, because it used to be like their version of Grand Central Station. And so getting back in touch. But apparently this house was in Belmont, so I'm going to be making a note before I close out the browser when we're done to do some.
Check that one out.
Yeah. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We've gone over, and hopefully Marianne's now not late for anything that she needs to do.
Nope. I'm in good shape. I'm good. So thanks for joining us. Mothers, have a happy Mother's Day. Cinco de Mayo Day. Have fun. Tequilas, and it was a good thing. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks.
Sounds good. Same time, same 10 o'clock on Wednesdays, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.